What's up, villains? So basically, I wanted to get on here today to talk to you guys about my Espanol journey, all right? My learning Spanish journey and where I'm at with it and this new challenge I want to start. Okay, so basically the challenge is, and they're all over YouTube with a lot of different parameters, but basically it's becoming fluent in Spanish in 30 days or fluent in a language in 30 days. Now, is that even possible? Yes, technically. I mean, there's only so many hours in a day and there's only so much you can push yourself and, a new brain learning something. But basically, with this curriculum I'm about to break down to you guys and kind of explain why I think I can take this challenge on, I'm kind of just here to see if it works, give you guys my feedback, and, let's learn Spanish together, villains. So basically, before we move forward, it's important, and I think for anybody, and this goes for not even just a language, for any of my villains out there, you have to look at what you want to learn, look at how much experience you already have in that. So are we starting from the ground, or are we starting from a baseline? Like, where are we starting from? So basically, to give you guys some background on my Spanish knowledge, yeah, I took Spanish in high school, didn't pay attention. The whole Duolingo thing, I think we all do it. Even if you're watching this video, it's like, I've downloaded Duolingo or Rosetta Stone or all these. We all know the minute you do it, especially in January, New Year's resolution, you do that app for like 2 months and then you just let it fall off. Plus, with those apps, it's just like, fruta, el gato. And you just flip the card over and it says cat. Like, got it. But it's just like, for me, I got it. I understand grammar is important, but those apps it's just not getting it. Okay. If you want to learn something as hard as a new language, you need to get with teachers. You need to get with native speakers. You need to come up with a curriculum, a plan, a schedule, like all this stuff that I've laid out now. And I have a better drive, or a path, if you will, moving forward. Now, the only real step I took towards learning Spanish was this year. I took a trip to Colombia for 3 months, para 3 meses. And my goal there was to learn, like leave there knowing Spanish. Now, I understand in 3 months that was like, in my mindset before going there, I'm like, 90 days, I can spend every waking moment in learning Spanish and I can come back fluent. That's not realistic, okay? So that's why you got to break it down. Obviously, I traveled. I spent some time relaxing and enjoying my peace, just getting out of the army. And, I enjoyed some fun. And then I went to Spanish. But caveat to that, I was going to a Spanish class taught by a Colombian Spanish teacher all week. I partied on the weekends and I partied at night during the week, but I'm saying like all week, 5 days a week, I saw this girl for 2 hours a day. Like, that's college, if you will. That's a class. That's a school. You know what I'm saying? So that's very committed. And then when I step out of Colombia, I'm immersed in Spanish. Ain't nobody in Colombia speaking English. Yeah, they are, maybe to try and sell stuff, or they're learning in a restaurant. Yeah, got it. Like, obviously English is everywhere around the world. I've said this to people, like, people tried, but in the end, it's like, it's Colombia, immerse, learn the language. So for me, it was kind of like put your back into a corner. You gonna learn Spanish because I'm tired of handing my phone to people, Google Translate. So you gonna figure it out. So it's kind of like a trial by fire process, or that's kind of what I wanted to do. And it worked out really well for me while I was in Colombia. Now, keep in mind, there were struggles, but like I said, like every day I'm waking up, I'm going to a coffee shop. Hey, hola, ¿cómo estás? Buenos días. ¿Me das porfa café con leche? Like, you're constantly bang, 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 bang. You come back to America, nobody speaks Spanish here. I got to find it. But other than that, I'm back to America. As Americans, or just as human beings in natural, we know we're lazy. So, you back down to just, all right, I could just get this point across by speaking English, so I'm going to do it. But you got to stay adamant in your goals. You make a goal, stick to it. That's the facts. That's what men do. That's what women do. That's what real people, that's what serious people do. When they make a goal, they get it done. They don't, lollygag around and not finish it. We don't leave 50 different tasks not finished, okay? That's not what adults do, if you will, okay? Sometimes we do it, and I know on accident, I've done it a bunch too, but that's also why this year, for my New Year's resolution, we always write down 15. I wrote down 1. By the end of this year, no Spanish. So, that being said, my goals of being fluent by December now seem a little far-fetched, but just because it's a lot more to take on than you would think, and I'll explain why. But I believe if I do this 30-day challenge and I focus on it and I use this learning website that I'm going to talk about in a minute, it will help me kind of organize my life, organize my hours, and just have a better structured path moving forward. So let me talk to you guys about this app. So I found it via YouTube, got a little discount code, but I watched a full 20-minute YouTube video that a guy kind of did what I'm doing for you guys. That's why I want to make this video before I do this challenge. And he, you know, he had some advantages. You know, he has like a Colombian wife, so he gets to speak Spanish at home. But, you know, he lived in Colombia. He took Spanish for 3 years in high school and actually took it seriously. So he's like his like baseline's way up here, right? My baseline's like right here, and I'd say a beginner's right here. I'm like a smidge above a beginner, but he's like up here already. So by the 30 days, his video is pretty impressive. He's having great conversation. But that's what I want to stress to you guys about learning a language. What scares me is I come back to America, I still do video calls with my Spanish teacher, but I just do it once a week. That's all she can like, you know, have time for, you know. And then now I've contacted a Spanish tutor here in America that I meet with once a week, but you know, those prices being pretty expensive, it is, I mean, we're talking $20 an hour. So, you know, I do, you know, a couple hours with her one time a week. So, and that's all really she could do. Even if I wanted to spend like $1,000 a month, she don't have the time. So it's just, for me, it was like finding something to plug in this time. Now on this new website, this Baselang, basically what's cool about it is you get to set up, so for like a flat rate fee of $180 a month, you can sign up for as many speaking video chat with a native speaker from multiple countries across Latin America that is also qualified to teach Spanish and knows English. So it's very conducive to my goal. Like every day now, I get to speak Spanish again with a native speaker for as many hours as I want or plan right on my Mac. So very, very advantageous, because if I did a price breakdown, and I told you guys basically, if I did 80 hours in this 30 days, and that's what this guy in this video, he broke it down, like 80 hours for 180, but like it's like $2.18. It's like literally $3. Okay, so like $3, let's say max $5 an hour. You know what I'm saying? You're just not getting coaching like that from any kind of teacher or tutor for $5 an hour. So it's something that's kind of made me excited about starting this program for sure. So another point I want to make, villains, is just, I don't ever want you, and I do this a lot, and you guys who have been following me for a while know throughout my social media career, like I've been a dork and been saying dorky stuff or misspeaking or using words wrong or being an idiot on social media for like 5 years. Like you have to break down the I don't want to look stupid barrier if you want to learn a new language. Because guess what? You are going to look stupid. Like we're going to look stupid. So I think what's good about this and what I need to get better at doing and what I was really good about doing in Colombia is just getting out and speaking. And even though you're using Spanish words because you know vocabulary, if you're using it wrong, people will always be helpful and won't necessarily, I mean, there's always those people that will look at you like, stupid gringo trying to speak Spanish. But that's dime a dozen. Like people are actually genuine. People love their culture. Like Colombians love being Colombian. Mexicans love being Mexicans. Ecuadorians love being Ecuadorians. All of these people, they love their culture and they respect you when you're in their country trying to speak it. So what I recommend is when you're learning a new language, yes, grammar, pronouns, verbs, nouns, like all of the language rules are important as a baseline or to keep back here, but you have to just, in the end, you have to do it. Okay, you have to go out and do it. You have to speak. You have to stumble over your words. You have to, in English we use but as a filler word. Perro, but perro, perro, perro. Use filler words to get you kind of rolling with the vocabulary and through everyday conversations, and it helps out a lot. I promise you. Yeah, so basically I have my introductory class today. Okay, that's where I kind of sit down with my instructor that I picked. She's Venezuelan. And we're going to do about an hour or 30 minutes assessment. She's going to speak with me. We're going to, talk, and she's going to kind of give me a level based on that. So you have like 0, like I know no Spanish, beginner level 0, all the way to level 10. I'm fluent, fully speak Spanish, fully know all the grammar rules, all that stuff. So it'll be exciting to test it out. The last thing I want to end with you guys is input. Always think input. Okay, so you're learning a new language. So something else I'm going to change up in my life is subconsciously. So subconsciously, I always have Netflix on, right? Or a streaming service or YouTube. So it's good to supplement, like I want you guys to like substitute sometimes English for Spanish or whatever language you're learning, right? So put on a video that is strictly Spanish, okay? Or I watch a lot of Spanish music videos. I listen to a lot of Spanish on my iPod. Sometimes if I want to watch a movie in English, I'll put Spanish subtitles on. So you just got to kind of like remember that you're always subconsciously remembering stuff and memorizing stuff based on repetition. So that's why it's good for me to, see, I know the word creo is think. So it's good to see creo que, or creo, creer, or whatever version of that verb that is spelt out. It's good to constantly see it a bunch on subtitles or hear it because it ingrains it in my brain. Think of it like this, and I'll give you guys a fun example. We all know I Want It That Way by Backstreet Boys, right? Like it's very, tell me why it ain't not. Okay, calm down. I won't let you guys know I won't let you guys hear all the vocals, But whatever. You guys get what I'm getting at. Why I picked that song is there's actually a Spanish version of that song. Prince Royce is one of my favorite Latin singers, if you will. He, obviously translated it into Spanish. So what's cool is you already know that song, word for word. I know it word for word. It's slow. It's very line by line by line by line. It's not your normal, you listen to Bad Bunny and I just can't keep up with him right now. The listening comprehension with Bad Bunny is not working right now. But I can take a song like I Want It That Way, Así Lo Quiero, is I Want It That Way in Spanish. But that's what I'm telling. I know when the I want it that is coming. So I see lo quiero. You can substitute these words of stuff you already know, and automatically you're learning Spanish. I want it that way. Now I know I want it that way. Así lo quiero. Boom. I know that phrase for the rest of my life now. So it's just, I want you to think about that, guys. Just get into music, get into subtitles, get into submersing and actually listening to Spanish movies spoken Spanish. Speak with native speakers. Don't be afraid. Get out there. You know what I'm saying? Start simple. Learn as much vocab as you can. I have a pretty good amount of vocab. Learn all the numbers. You got to know all the numbers. Learn all the basics of the W's, who, which, when, where, why, if you will. Cuando, que, quién, quieres, cuál es, all that stuff. Learn those kind of learn those basic things you need to speak basically in English. Learn those first. And then those sentences, words, phrases, they play into your everyday speak and it'll just start to roll off your tongue and you'll get better with your pronunciation. Yeah, so basically about every 3 days I'm going to post a video. We're going to come back in 30 days. I'm going to go over all my progress, how we kind of, organized our time, how many times the sessions I did a day, how many flashcards I played with, and at the culmination of this 30 days, we'll see how I did in this challenge and we'll get after it. Hey, wish me luck, villains.